What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video on the Legend car. We've really only got one big thing left to accomplish with the car. Obviously you can see that we've gotten our shocks back for all four corners, got the dyno, got our springs checked, and all that's left to do is get our new to us motor thrown into the car. We're going to try and pull as much of the useful stuff off of this motor as we can, starting with the blue plate, and throw it onto this motor. Hopefully this will be a pretty simple undertaking, not looking to spend a whole lot of time on it. Hopefully it's pretty quick. We'll see how it goes. We've officially got most of the things swapped over from our old motor over here to our new one. Should be lifting it up here shortly and getting it onto the car. We did have a little bit of a mishap here with our sprocket adapter. As you can see, I had to cut out a piece because we had a bit of an issue getting our set screw out, and ended up screwing that up when we were trying to extract it. So ended up pulling over our other sprocket adapter, got that on the motor. Haven't even tried to turn this one over yet. Don't know if it has oil or anything, but we'll get it up on our crane here and get it hooked up to our motor mounts and get everything connected. So we now got our motor in the car here. Gone ahead and pulled the valve cover off, and we still need to pull a couple of things off of our other motor. For instance, our oil ports for our oil pressure sensor and some drainage plugs for the oil cooler. I've gone ahead and reconnected our front yoke for the drive shaft as well. Connected that to our sprocket adapter. I've also screwed in our clutch line as well. Still got to set our timing and check our valve lash. Still got to run through and connect all of our electronics as well. We've got a new catch can coming in tomorrow, so we'll replace this one since this one is pretty much no good to us. It's got a flush cut right where there should be an MPT fitting. So that doesn't help us for our vent tube. Things are starting to come together pretty smoothly. Pick up some oil tomorrow and some fuel. Hopefully we can have our first start. So I've gone ahead and gotten a couple things done off camera. You can see we now have our oil cooler back in, as well as the fans connected up. Got to do a lot of our plumbing still for our oil lines, but you can see our return from the oil cooler is connected up. Still got to run our feed line to the top of the oil cooler, as well as run our oil pressure sensor. Still got to time it with that back blue plate. We've got our oil cooler lines need to be ran still. Got to run our starter cable here to the back of the car and hook up to our battery. Wrapped up in the plastic here, we've got a new RRC top end fan that'll go right here over cylinders 1 and 2. Things are starting to get buttoned up pretty quickly here, but we still got a lot of tiny things to take care of. The goal right now is to get it started up by the end of this video. Unfortunately, the oil catch can we had ordered is a little too large for our application, so we've gone ahead and placed a different one on order and returned this one. So maybe our vent cap will just be plugged off for today's video once we get to that point. Hopefully by the next one we'll have a new catch can installed. If not, we're gonna have to try and make do with what we pulled out of the car.
Damn, it hurts, man. I can feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, it's the world honestly burning. That's all I'm learning, hope that we can make a turn and start reversing. in all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man.
So we've been doing a lot of the smaller things off camera because I feel that those tasks are a bit tedious. But you can see that we've now run our new wiring for our top end cooler, as well as put our bracket on for it already. We've got our new spark plugs here that we're getting ready to put in. I'll probably do that as well off camera and get everything up here buttoned up pretty quickly here. We have gone through and installed our battery and got all of our wiring at least routed temporarily for now. We do have crank coming off the starter right now, and we do get light on our ignition box whenever that starter kicks over. Do get some priming from our fuel pump. We've got a little bit of oil in here, so we still have to prime it before we actually get it started, but not a whole lot to do left to get it actually running. Now, for those of you wondering, we have chosen the Autolite spark plug to run at least for the beginning part of the year until we change them probably. It did originally have the NGKs in them, but there is no terminal cap for it. I've also heard good things about the Autolite ones, so we're gonna give them a shot. Probably switch to the NGKs halfway through the season, see if there's any difference for us. Maybe these ones are better. You also have to remember we are at a high elevation here in Colorado, so that does take into effect our air fuel ratios and spark timing and everything like that. So we'll get everything timed up and buttoned up here shortly, get our exhaust header back on as well, and see if we can get that first fire.
A place like this, it didn't exist, you made it like this. So you can go pick the bat of the gate, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop out fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had to give an art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard. You never know what's hard with a back to the Mac, and I see where I'm at.
There we have it. We've officially started our car. Everything in the engine bay is back where it's supposed to be. Obviously, we'll throw our air filters on the carburetors here soon. We still got to tidy up most of our wiring. We've got a new oil catch can coming in. Unfortunately, the one we had ordered was a little too large. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. Now, all we got to do is put our running boards back on. Obviously, the front end, body-wise, put that all together and put our air dam back in for the oil cooler. Got to clean up our wiring in the rear. It's still quite the mess back here. We're probably going to end up replacing our kill switch in here because while the kill switch is in the off position, we still get crank. You can hear our fuel pump in the background. It's not as powered, but it is running still. Obviously, we're going to go through and get our tires changed out before we head up to Denver for our first practice. But at this point, it's just button things up together. We're going to check our alignment and see what else we got going on for the rear end. We might check it square and possibly just straight up make it square, because that way we have some sort of baseline to work with. I don't think we're gonna patch up our fenders for practice. I think that'll be more for an opening day kind of deal for the racetrack. Overall, I'm really pleased with what we were able to accomplish today. Got a lot done, got the motor in and running. I'm not sure if this will be the last video before the practice video or not. Obviously, still got a little bit to do, so I might jam that up into a short video, but regardless, I appreciate you guys watching and hope to catch you in the next one.
The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know the time